The Kenya 2022 general elections have given me a great opportunity to participate in the governance and future leadership of this nation. I began with going around through civic education.
Kumbukeni kwamba tunakaribia siku za uchaguzi na uchaguzi ni yenu, ni yetu sisi wote. Na ni vizuri Wakristo wale wameokoka wahusike kwa uchaguzi.
Through peace building and the need for people to live in peace, of course we did our best to show people the need to go and vote and to make calls to them to go and vote. But the responses and the feedback that we've always got from the ground was, why vote when the die has already been cast? There was a very clear indication that people perceived, especially that the president had already been chosen and their vote did not count. Where that perception came from is probably, number one, the participation of the outgoing president in supporting a candidate. So many people felt like, well, he has got all the systems, he has got all the powers, this has been determined, so my vote will not count. Other factors that people spoke about as we tried to show them the need to vote was that, do I leave my income generating, whatever I do for a living, to go and vote? Of course, this has a lot to do with the poor economic situation of Kenya during the time of voting. Somebody would look at that day as a waste or a loss of their daily income, which is what they rely on. Even the people who came to vote, a good number of them, it took a lot of persuasion, a lot of mobilization by certain candidates and leaders to accept to come. But in the morning, they went to do whatever they do that generates income for them. Many people would come to the polling station and say, oh, I first of all went to sell my milk, or I went to work for somebody a little bit and generate some money, because at the end of the day, I will still have to take care of my family. So the poor economic situation, which probably is also contributed by COVID, the high inflation, and generally the bad economic situation, led so many people to feel like it is not, they are not going to be able to spend a whole day on doing that. There are a few people who came in and they were turned away because the biometric system would not accept them. Their fingers are so rough because of the farming or quarry work that they do. So the biometric would not accept them on the basis of that. And when some of those few people went back and told the others that they did not vote because of they could not be accepted by the system, the biometric system, the others did not come also. So it is, if we are going to have good governance, some of the lessons that I have learned as an observer is that IEBC needs to be funded more. They need to be funded. They need to be given adequate funds, because we kept hearing the chairman of IEBC all the time saying, oh, they have no funds for civic education, voter registration. The fund is not enough. And I think for this to happen, there might be need to look at some of the laws that probably regulates how IB is funded, because we cannot expect them to go everywhere and prepare for elections, and yet they have got very low funding. The other important observation that I have learned as an observer is that the church is the best organization or institution to do the civic education. It is important to fund the church to do civic education, because they are the ones with the connection with the ground, they speak the same language, they are culturally relevant to people in the entire nation, they have already won the credibility of the people that they serve in the ground, they have got the network, they can reach the most illiterate, the poorest, to the elite and the wealthy people. I think it is so important that the church be recognized and be funded as the main institution for conducting civic education. For example, Federation of Evangelical Indigenous Christian Churches and GOA, we spent our own resources to travel, to educate the people, and really it was a real sacrifice because we believe in good governance and we believe in our nation and we are patriotic about our nation. We want to see the right leaders elected. We want to see credible, free, fair elections. So we ended up spending our meager resources as a church institution, and we were only able to reach just a few areas of the nation. But with funding and together with our network, we can reach more. So this is something that needs to be really considered. And also, it raises a fundamental question of where is the funding for the civic education? Who or which institutions have been funded to do this work? We cannot expect the IEBC to do this single-handedly and expect them to do a good job. We definitely need to do this together. So I feel that it's necessary for me to share my experiences because I love this nation. I really want to see a whole process that eventually culminates into good governance of this nation, to credible and leaders of integrity.